Everybody, welcome back to my channel. We are not going to be emotional today. We are going to go back into time. It was approximately, I think, 2 years ago, on the 2nd of November, on a Friday, on Sage's first birthday, that Yusuf and I had a live interview on Afternoon Express for our business. So on that day, or rather let me backtrack firstly to how it happened. So in August of that year, they asked, or they mentioned, that if you know of anybody that's in business, a female entrepreneur, that you should send some information through to Afternoon Express, and they could possibly feature this person. So we sent our information. I personally sent it. We weren't nominated. Nobody sent it through for us. I sent it through, and we were not part of the we were not selected for August, as female entrepreneurs and Women's Month, and in celebration of that. But then what happened was, we then still got the opportunity later. So I received the email, a reply back from them. So this was obviously way after. I received the reply back, and the reply said, well, we would love, would you still be interested in coming live on the show for an interview? So I got the mail, read the mail, checked the email, verified the numbers on there to the point where I phoned and I asked, is this Afternoon Express? Like, is this for real? Can I speak to the person that sent me the mail? The person wasn't available. I was like, I will not get excited. I will not be pranked. I will not get excited for this. So then it happened. The person picked up the phone. The person replied, and I still waited for them to say it's definitely happening before I posted it on any of my social media platforms. Guys, I've just been through so much. Put your dreams out there in the chatted, because not everybody wants what's best for you. So my emotions on that day was that I went to work. Do you remember I told you guys I went to work, and I had half day. I didn't tell anybody. I think I told Natalie, I told one person about the interview that I had and why I had to do half day that day. And I went to work. I was at work and left at 12. Half day, left at 12. Crazy if I think about it now. Left at 12, went to town. I asked Yusuf to pack our stuff in the car. So it was on the couch, everything ironed and whatever on the couch, and Yusuf had to bring it through. On our way to town, I started realizing what is about to happen. Like, what is about to go down? And I was nervous, obviously, but I was like kind of a freak, because I felt like I was getting sick. So I sat in front, but then I was like, I cannot do this. I was sitting like this in front. And we had footage of it, because Yusuf said there's no way he's not gonna record this, and no way that I'm not gonna know how I reacted. And we lost it. I don't know how we lost it, but I would have loved to put that in here. And then we obviously got to town, and then we had to get dressed. They said it's fine, we can get dressed there, but then I took all my stuff. I'm like, where is my shoes? Because I know I put my shoes on the floor and not with this stuff. And I know my husband had forgotten many nappy bags and bottles that I did not put in the bag, but next to the bag. So obviously at that time my emotions were high, and I freaked out, only to find out he did put in my shoes on the back seat and not in the boot with the other stuff. Got inside, and I was still very nervous. Got inside, and they told us where to go, and immediately, guys, and then I got Jeannie D. She wasn't well. She left the show. She did the first intro, and then she left because she didn't feel well. I was like, I just need to give you a hug. I don't care if I get sick because you're not well. I just need to give you a hug. And she was so sweet and so kind. I love her. I love Jimmy D. She is bomb. She is just the sweetest. And then we now went in. I got my makeup done. And my makeup looked so good. My makeup really looked very good. And then we went inside. Guys, when we stepped into the actual studio, then they took us up after we did our makeup and got dressed, and we went to the coffee bar where you can select anything. You can basically literally choose whatever. I think I just had a cappuccino because I felt like my soul needed it. And then we went into the studio, got into the studio, and when we got there, I was very nervous before the studio. When I stepped in the studio, wow, gal, it was like, it was like, this child is here. Like, she is here, man, she's here. And I was just like, I feel like all those YouTube videos before prepared me for it, because all of a sudden it was like, no nerves. I'm here to just do what I need to do. And I felt like I've been destined for this. Yes, I'm just like, thank you, Lord. And we sat with everybody else that obviously went on the show. Mostly famous people. We were just out there chilling with all these celebs. And we took a few pictures with them also on the day. So when we went in, we're gonna just go through the video, our script. So the script was basically about 10 questions, and then you could prepare, you could obviously, you had to prepare your answer. But let's get into the video. We're gonna watch it together. You're gonna watch it on the screen, and I'm gonna watch it on here, and I'm just gonna react to it. So let's do this.
Chandra Abrahams is a self-taught designer who now runs a successful clothing manufacturing company.
Just a second, self-taught designer. Let me just rephrase and correct. I see myself as a self-taught buyer, entrepreneur. I don't necessarily see myself as a self-taught designer. I do drawings, but how I actually do our designs or our clothing is I take the garment, I take the mannequin, and I put it on the mannequin, and then my sister actually does the physical drawings. I sometimes do the drawings, but it doesn't look as great as hers, and the samples, and we then do the pattern grading from that. So let's continue.
Manufacturing company with her husband Yusuf Abrahams, employing over 20 people. What separates Chandra and Yusuf from other entrepreneurs is that they use their business to empower more women and employ people living with disabilities. Their passion for empowering other people is a quality we should all aspire to have. Welcome to the Loft. Lovely to have you with us.
Thank you.
So when
just a moment also, they kind of guided us how to sit, because if you look at the set, it seems like I'm having this conversation and Yusuf's just like hanging around. But they specifically told him how to put his legs. It's so crazy. They even like told me how to face, like which way to face and all of that. So that was staged, if I can put it that way.
When I heard your story earlier, I thought, when they mentioned that you quit your job to go and start a company, when I hear those stories, I'm like, oh, my stomach takes a leap. Tell me about the moment you decided to leave the comfort of a salary and that safety net of a salary to step out there and start this business. What was going on in your mind?
I think it started as a dream as a child.
Moment for my hair and my makeup. Guys, if I can look like this every day, y'all. Shoo.
I used to remember I come from Atlantis, and I grew up in Ravensmead, and we stayed in the rural areas, and our house was not the best in the block. And we lived my room, I painted myself, and it was like whenever I went home, I moved into this space that I just created for myself. The space where I could dream.
It's so funny that she says that she did the same. It's so creative people, which I never knew. I never knew I was a creative. But creative people need to be like their surroundings. They feed off their surroundings. So for me personally, if my house is not clean, I cannot function properly. And when I say clean, I mean like functional. And I want to, like, for me, when we moved in here, I was like, can we just get the walls white? Like the dark walls got to me. And then afterwards I was like, oh, the floors, can we just like, so it's like, I just need, it's not like it has to be pretty, it just needs to be, it just needs to, I just need to feed off it. Otherwise, for creative people, we can easily go into a very dark space if we are not like, if we don't feed our souls.
I could dream in the space where I could just, you know, go away in my mind and, you know, just see a better life for myself. And I grew up knowing that, you know, there's just something bigger than this. There's something bigger than my circumstances. Yeah. And it's so amazing that when we decided eventually that I was going to quit my job, we've got 3 boys. So when, yes, so when I decided that I was going to quit my...
People's always so shocked when we say we have 3 boys. Do they know we would have had 5 kids? Like we always joked and said we wanted 5.
To quit my full-time job, of course, it was a very big decision, but with my husband's support, we knew that we could make it work.
Yeah. So you
need to have a moment for my husband's support. Like I always say, he's so supportive, and I always say that, wow, my husband, blah, blah. But when I say supportive, I mean like he is so supportive. So I'm just gonna quickly honor my man.
You start this clothing line, and what I find really amazing is that you not only employ people just to be sales consultants, you actually want to empower them with business skills, and you also empower people with disabilities. I mean, it takes a lot to do that, because you could just be profit focused, right?
Yes.
But there's so much more you're giving to these people and their families. Tell us about some of the beautiful stories that have come of this.
So when we started, I initially knew that we really have a heart for people, and we have a heart to give back. And we went about business, and the business was growing and it was doing well, but we knew that there was something more to this. So we then decided.
And that is, I think, part of the secret. It's about people. Our focus has always been about people. Even if we sell you a garment, it's about you. Are you happy? Like, does it suit you? Or you, you know, it's about people. And I feel like that is an ingredient that can easily be missed. So I just wanted to come in there with that.
Decided that how do we empower women? How do we tap into a market that people have not maybe yet discovered? And we then thought that there's women that's willing and able, and you know we all love fashion, we all like Absolutely. Beautiful things, and the 15 part-time staff that we currently have.
So the 15 part-time staff we refer to here, at that time it was 15 ambassadors. We grew up to 20 at some stage. And then we obviously had our full-time staff.
We call them brand ambassadors. Amazing. And they were basically my clients at first. Wow. So they were my clients for 2 years, and then we pitched them with an idea, and my husband came up with that idea, with an amazing business idea. So we pitched them with the idea, and they bought into it, and we run workshops with them, and we empower and equip them as to how to drive their sales and their targets, and how to carry themselves as well.
Correction, I never taught ambassadors how to carry themselves. In actual fact, the reason why they became ambassadors is because we loved how they presented themselves and carried themselves in public. So correction is, I think I spoke too fast, but I think what I meant there was carry themselves when they do the sale. So there is a different way as to how we would love them to deal with clients and how we wanted them to represent the brand. So I never taught anybody how to carry themselves.
With regards to the disability side of things, our staff, we've got a staff component which consists of family. My mother, my sister, and my cousin. Wow. And my cousin was, they declared her...
We assume that it was my sister and my cousin on the picture, because that was on our Instagram feed.
Right after accident. And I remember when she was employed, she said to me, she couldn't understand that I expect her to, she said, but do I need to write things? And I said, no, we'll work it out, we'll figure it out. It was a first job as well.
It's a real testimony. Like my cousin can attest to this, that she couldn't write. She was in an accident in her final year in matric, and she lost the ability to use her hand to write. She can write now, so we're very excited about that, but she didn't also know how to work on a PC at that time, because after the accident she kind of lost quite a bit of her abilities. And I made her, or I asked her to capture all the sizes, all the orders, and even if she did it with one hand, but eventually she knew how to work Excel, basic Excel, but she knew how to work that. So that for us was a big testimony, and I felt like that empowered her and that equipped her. Like to this day she can do it. To this day she can write. So that is when you're like back to being your focus, being about people, and I think when it's genuinely about someone's growth, there is really a testimony to that.
Happened when she was, I think, in grade 12.
Yeah.
So when the accident, after it happened, and she was declared disabled, she thought that there was no hope. And we were so excited when we celebrated when she could write for the first time at the workshop.
So
we were
beautiful.
not aware that she was practicing in the background.
But she was obviously inspired and encouraged by you. Yusuf, what's it like working with your wife?
Well, I tend to focus on the strengths because both of us, we've got strengths. I come from
when it comes to Yusuf, he's always about people's strengths and people's like he always sees the good in people, and he has taught me this in life, and especially like in our marriage. Let me just say here, it was not as easy as I thought it would be to work with my husband. And when I say that, I mean like we obviously sleep in the same bed, drive in the same car, and went to the factory and sat in the same office. So we kind of started to get irritated with each other. Like small things would irritate each other. Like I would make myself a cup of coffee because he just had coffee, so I'm assuming he wouldn't like it, and he would ask me, why didn't you make me coffee? And then I would say, but you just had coffee. So he would say, I always make you coffee. Like it would be stupid things that we would like debate or argue about. So it really was not easy, and I love that he's saying he focuses on the strengths, because I believe he really did that.
I come from a financial background.
Yeah.
So working with her is a little bit tough, I'm not going to lie.
I can imagine!
But I must say, if you focus on the strengths of each other, and you basically complement each other, and that's when you become one.
How we go through marriage, we complement each other. I know his weaknesses, so I know that is and those are my strengths, and he knows my weaknesses, so obviously he is strong in that regard. So we focus, like we don't zoom in on each other's weaknesses, because we know that we're working on it. And that's what worked for us in business, but also it works in marriage as well.
And we figured that out in business as well. I must say it's one of the rules that we try to implement. I say try because it's very difficult.
Yes.
Is not to bring our work home.
And not to bring your home into the workspace.
Yes, and that's finding the balance on that it's always a challenge.
I'm looking at Yusuf and I'm like, Mommy! Guys, let's just get serious now.
But it's a journey.
That's
We're working
beautiful.
on it, yeah.
That's so beautifully said. They
Also like my body, like size 30, where are you?
Successful marriages are run like businesses, interestingly. But thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
So in saying that, we were like, I don't know if it shows, I didn't check my face at the end, because I knew like we had about 8 to 10 questions. So obviously, like after the 4th question, she's saying, thank you so much, guys. So I'm like, oh, okay. because we were supposed to have 5 to 10 minutes on the show. In actual fact, that's what the brief said. The brief said that we would be 5 to 10 minutes. But I just feel like the experience overall for us, or for me personally, was like after the show, I was like, oh, I actually like, when I was growing up, I always wanted to be a presenter, TV presenter. And on that day, I said to yourself, now I know why I wanted to do this, like why I had this dream as a child. And maybe that's why I love YouTube, or maybe that is why I enjoy YouTube. It's because I always wanted to do it as a child. So after that experience, our business like got all these inquiries. On that day specifically, got so many likes and comments, and like on both Instagram and Facebook, and that contributed massively also to the growth. Even though it was after the fashion show, and at the fashion show is where we had a fashion show with 200 guests. Actually, it was more than 200. We sold 200 tickets, but that's apart from the models attending, that's apart from the guests attending, you know, at a wine estate, and it was beyond amazing. So I feel like everything kind of contributed to our growth at that time. And because we were just so focused on doing things differently. But the experience for us is that was at the show, they're very professional. They like extremely organized, and you know, it's business, it's time, it's like it was, yeah, everything was just like so planned and so organized and so professional. But at the same time, they focused so much on us. How they did that on the day, I don't know. They focused and zoomed in so much into, oh, yeah, okay, you know, can I mic you up? Can I that it was just an experience. It was something I love to do again. I am gonna say goodbye, everyone. I hope you have an amazing day and love you lots. Please do not forget to subscribe, or even to like this video or comment. Chat to me. See you guys. Bye.